Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm pretty darn excited because I am heading out on my very first overnight bike camping excursion. So the plan is to go from Bainbridge Island to Lake Crescent, which is in the Olympic National Park. It's about a 100-mile journey, but there's no way I'm going to do that all in one day with all this gear. So the plan is to break it up into 2 rides. So right now today we're going to go from Bainbridge Island over to the Layton Hills Horse Camp, which is a little bit outside of Sequim, so that's about a 50-mile ride. Spend the night there and then the next morning finish the last 50 miles and head over to Lake Crescent, where hopefully the family will meet me there and I get to ride the sag wagon back home. So if that sounds like fun, let's hit the road. All right, so here's all the junk. Let's talk about it real quick. So camping wise, so I'm bringing the tent, although I am not bringing the rain fly because I discovered that's going to save me over 1 kilogram of weight. The sleeping pad, a thermarest, sleeping bag, obviously my pannier. I'm going to try to fit a lot of this junk in it. We've got food. I think I've got a little over 1 kilogram of food, stuff for dinner tonight and some breakfast tomorrow, and then hopefully that'll be enough, as well as road snacks. And then this is actually the heavy thing, is water, obviously. So I brought a fair bit of water and some hydration tabs, some electrolyte hydration tabs, and then a pair of long PJs for the evening. And then in terms of bike gear, let's just talk about that real quick. So obviously helmet, sunglasses, jersey, and bike shorts, but I'm also going to bring some arm warmers and some leg warmers for when it's cold in the morning. And then obviously socks and bike shoes. So that's pretty much the entire biking setup. And then in terms of repair gear, pretty minimal. I just got a pump, a patch kit, some tire forks, a spare inner tube, and a multi-tool. And then I guess we start getting into electronics. So obviously the phone and cash wallet, all that kind of jazz. Bluetooth headset for listening to directions or music or whatnot. And oh gosh, here, this is where it gets a little ridiculous and I'm a little bit nuts about this, but it's kind of silly. I need like 4 USB cables just to go on an overnight bike ride. So I got USB Type-C for the phone, USB for the GoPro, USB micro for the 360 camera, and then a proprietary Garmin charger for my watch. Again, a little ridiculous. I'm going to hopefully recharge everything with my 6,000 milliamp hour USB battery. Then I'm going to bring 2 cameras. I'm going to bring a GoPro for some time lapses, and then a 360 camera and a selfie stick. And then here is my headlamp for the bike. So this is my bike light in case it gets a little bit dark. And then I guess in terms of some toiletries, not too much. Glasses, contacts, small first aid kit, hand sanitizer, a little bit of extra sunscreen, shove everything in a hard orange case, and then a mask since this is COVID times. And we're gonna see if we can jam all of this onto the bike. So again, I think total weight of everything. So the bike here is about a little over 13 kilograms or 29 pounds-ish. And then all of this other junk that I've got laid out here, including all the clothes and the bike shoes and all that stuff, is about 15.5 kilograms or about 34 pounds. So all in all, let's see if we can get everything onto the bike mounted up and rolling down the road for about 28.7 kilograms or about, I think about 63 and a half-ish pounds. So that's the plan. So let's go ahead and get it all loaded up. All right, so after just a few miles on the road, it's time to basically leave Bainbridge Island, and there's only 2 ways off of Bainbridge Island. One is via the ferry, which takes you to Seattle, or the other way, which I'm doing right here, is going over the Agate Pass Bridge. So the Agate Pass Bridge is a really beautiful, pretty, 2-lane, kind of narrow bridge, as you can kind of see here, which goes over Agate Pass, and will basically take you from Bainbridge Island over to Suquamish and Poulsbo. And as you can see, it's like I said, pretty and beautiful, but it's a little bit sketchy in the sense that there is this sidewalk you see there that you could ride your bike on, but that railing is awfully low. So I don't like riding on that sidewalk, so I kind of ride in the road. A lot of bikers do this, but it's a little narrow, so I would recommend just going over as fast as you can. And I'm doing this while they're actually in the middle of repainting it. As you can kind of see there, they have a lot of it covered for spraying and whatnot. And pretty soon you're over into Suquamish. All right, and now we are leaving Paulsbo. And just as a quick side note, for any of you who have never been to Paulsbo or visited, I would really recommend it. It's a really cute town in Kitsap County. It's got a lot of Scandinavian themes. It's on the water. There's a lot of marinas. There's also probably the best bakery that I've been to. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but it's one of my favorites. It's called Sly's Bakery. It's right down on the water in downtown. They make these giant donuts. I think they call them Viking donuts or something like that. They also make Viking cupcakes. Again, everything is very Scandinavian theme. It's a great bakery. Anyway, I digress. To leave Paulsbo, though, and continue on our journey, we need to cross yet another floating bridge. So this is now the Hood Canal floating bridge, which is a little bit bigger than the Agate Pass Bridge. And again, it's very pretty, as you can see, especially on a sunny day. The only thing that kind of stinks about this bridge is it closes a lot temporarily to allow ships or even submarines to pass through. So I can't tell you the number of times we've been trying to cross the Hood Canal Bridge and it is closed. There's a Washington State Patrol car posted at either end stopping traffic, and you have to wait for the marine traffic to go through before the bridge reopens. One thing that was cool, one time I was trying to go across and it was stopped, and I was able to kind of pass a lot of the cars and go up to the front and just wait for the bridge to reopen. And the Washington State Patrol trooper was actually super nice, and they let me get about a 1 or 2 minute head start in front of the car. So he let me go first and then kept the cars waiting for a little bit to get me, basically I had the whole bridge to myself. Of course, you can see this bridge is super duper long, so eventually the cars did end up catching up with me, and I basically had to ride with the cars. But as you can see here, there's a nice wide shoulder. It's a lot easier to ride on than the Agate Pass Bridge, so it's a lot of fun. But again, long story short, you need to cross the Hood Canal Bridge to continue on your way towards Sequim and Port Angeles and a lot of our further destinations. So it's beautiful, so maybe I'll just continue letting this roll and I'll show you some of the footage of what it looks like as you're crossing the bridge. And again, it's really nice. Coming up here, I think you'll be able to see we're actually exiting Kitsap County, and right here on the right you can see there's Marrowstone Island. So there's a lot of these little islands and places you can visit and see as you're biking through the Olympic Peninsula. So very pretty, and I am glad I was doing this on a nice, bright, sunny day. Now, although this is a nice, bright, sunny day, I didn't get started as early as I would have liked. And as you can see, as I kind of continued on my journey, it started getting a little bit darker and the sun started going down, which created some really beautiful, breathtaking views as you're biking along. As you can see here, especially on some of these downhill descents where you actually have time to breathe and watch the scenery. I don't know about you, but anytime I'm biking with extra gear, like a backpack or a pannier, going up hills just is no fun at all, right? You go super slow, it takes a lot of effort, but you get that back on the descents, right? Where it's really easy to carry all this. And now carrying tents and all this other equipment, this is probably the heaviest bike load I've had in a long time. So the uphills were no fun, but the downhills, as you can see here, are a lot of fun and produce some spectacular imagery. And since it's getting dark, I better stop yapping and just concentrate on biking and getting to the Layton Hills Horse Camp. In fact, you're going to see I actually had to put on my bike light so I could see in the dark, and we're actually not going to reach camp until about an hour after the sun went down. So let's fast forward and I'll show you what it looks like at the horse camp after I've got the tent pitched and we're all settled down. All right, so we made it 50 miles, and I don't know, 4.5 hours later. It took me longer than I had thought to get here, but we're finally here. I think I made the newbie mistake of arriving after dark, but I guess this is the nice thing about bike camping, is that it's really simple to set up. So quickly set this up. Luckily, I brought my bike headlamp, my commuter light, so I can see what I'm doing. But tell you what, let's just go to bed, and maybe I'll show you what it looks like here at the Layton Hills Horse Camp in the morning. here's a time lapse of what it looked like at the horse camp at night. I think it turned out really well. If you're interested in how I made this, feel free to check out my other videos showing how to make time lapses using Blender. Otherwise, let's just let this run because I think it turned out really well. Alright, good morning. So, just want to show you the view from outside the tent. Got the bike outside. And I guess we're having our breakfast of champions of a jam sandwich and I guess a little bit of noon water. And I guess we'll go ahead and get packed up and then maybe we'll walk around camp just to see what it looks like here at the horse ranch in a second. So in the light of day, I decided to just ride my bike around the camp once or twice just to see what everything looked like. As you can see, it's very nice. It's a nice, wide, open area. There's some infrastructure and developments. As you can see, there is a sort of kind of clubhouse and a little covered picnic shelter here, but mostly it's just space for people to pull in with their RVs and their horse trailers or whatever kind of camping apparatus they've got and just kind of set up shop and camp for the night. For example, they let me just camp out in this nice open field. The owners were super responsive over email, and I basically just paid a small fee, and you get a place to pitch a tent, and it's pretty and nice, and it's someplace I think I'll definitely try to come back to in the future. Right outside of Sequim, I decided to stop at the Sunny Farms Country Store, which is this pretty cute open-air grocery, to see if I could find some snacks. I ended up picking up a breakfast sandwich and then tried to do the kind of stupid thing of eating with one hand, holding a 360 camera with the other, and continuing to bike all at the same time. And the next big town out of Sequim is actually Port Angeles, as you can see, and we're rolling through, and there's not a ton to look at, so we're just going to go pass straight through Port Angeles. And a little bit outside of Port Angeles, we're actually going to cross the Elwha River, and we get some nice scenery and a nice welcome downhill section. And then finally, here we are. We are now entering the Olympic National Park. And shortly after you enter the park, you encounter this sign for bicyclists, basically warning you to be careful of cars because the road's kind of narrow. As you can see, there's a lot of traffic because the Olympic National Park is pretty darn popular, and there's a lot of people pulling their RVs and their trailers and large loads. And anyway, just again, be careful because the pathway is a little narrow, and most people may not be looking at the road because, as you can see, the views are spectacular. Lake Crescent is a lot of fun, very picturesque. I made an entire separate video focusing on Lake Crescent Lodge and some of the campgrounds in the area near this section of the Olympic National Park, so feel free to check that out if you're interested. And here we are, basically rolling into the Lake Crescent Lodge, which is one of the main recreation areas at Lake Crescent, and it's an area where my family and I like to swim and hang out, and basically this is going to be the end of the bike tour, so I think we made it. Alright, so I actually made it. We're finally here at Lake Crescent, and all of the junk is here, and I'm excited to be able to load it up here on the sag wagon and get a ride home. Overall, it was a really fun ride. It was actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. There were a couple of hills and whatnot, but I think mostly the thing that made it difficult is the fact that I've just got all this junk. I've done the Seattle to Portland bike ride, 3 times, and that's actually 200 miles in 2 days instead of 100 miles in 2 days. But again, like I said, this was much harder, I think, due to all of the weight. What are some of the thoughts? I guess I have to remember to bring multiple USB batteries to recharge all my junk. I guess if you notice, right, I got to recharge the watch, the phone, the camera, the headset. So apparently there's a lot. So next time I'm going to bring a USB battery with multiple outlets, so I can charge multiple things at once. The other thing that was surprisingly difficult was the resupplying. I'm unable to carry the amount of water necessary to go 100 miles all by myself. So again, that's what made things like the Seattle to Portland bike ride so much easier, is that they were fully supported rides, right? They would supply all the water. You can just stop every 5-10 miles and pick up more extra water or whatnot. So here I had to make two, I guess let's call it 2.5 pit stops. So 2 times I had to stop at a store and basically buy water to resupply. One other time, the family actually met me on the road, and they gave me an extra USB battery so I could charge the phone so it wouldn't die as I was going. So again, 2.5 pit stops. But overall, it was pretty darn fun camping out. Now I think I understand why a lot of these bike touring people are such nerds about shaving grams off of their setup, right? I mean, one problem I had was I think bringing a 3-person tent was a little bit overkill, especially in terms of weight. So I think if I were to do this again, I'd try to figure out a lighter tent and basically a way you can get a lighter setup. I mean, again, having 65-ish pounds, I can't remember exactly how much, but overall, all that junk bike and gear rolling down the road makes any little hill a big pain in the neck. So that being said, I'm excited to finally be here and get all my junk off and maybe go swimming to cool off. So I think this is a great spot to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, I also hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Surprisingly, if you just scroll a little ways down and click on that subscribe button, it really does help me continue making these videos. And speaking of the videos, remember the new videos come out every Monday, so I hope I'll catch you on one of these future discussions and we can all learn something new together. So until I talk to you again, I think I'll sign off for now. Bye.